Pride is a thief. Pride stole the soul of the Denis people. Pride stole my own brothers. The temptation was too great. It is not the power, but the desire for power that destroys. That desire is in my blood, the blood of my ancestors, the blood of my flesh. I fight it, but I am pulled even now. My father tried to hide what he valued, his books and ages, while my brothers tried to hide what they valued, riches and power. Father was trusting or naive, and ages and people were destroyed. And so my family was imprisoned. My brothers in ages written by father. Father in a Denis prison he had escaped from in childhood. And mother in the world she loved and feared the most. Riven, her home, her refuge. Perhaps it's why I now fear my home, my refuge. And then by the maker or by the roll, a stranger found the book. The book had been intended to be destroyed by fire, but by the maker or by the roll, it was taken far away. The book was preserved until it was time. Surely it was the maker who preserved the book that would bring help. Now it was time. A stranger found the book, came to the island and freed father. A lesson was learned. A friendship was forged. Friendship. The least are my friends. I must use the least wisely. I must listen to them and respect them. They are powerful, they are willing, and they are afraid.
I find the idea that the brothers were corrupted by the desire for riches and power half weird. The riches part is what's strange to me. They didn't grow up in an economy. It's like, what value are riches to somebody who does not even live in a society, necessarily? They really were just a family of people on an island with no other stuff around them. So, like, there's not a thing to be rich. There's not a system to be rich in. There is no, like, capitalism on that island or anything. But power, yes, that was Gen's issue. He would create worlds full of people to subjugate basically just for the sake of it, and just kind of flex on them all day. They'd have a dedicated hut just for him, and they'd keep it for him, and they'd worship him and so on, even when in his absence. And he demanded it, because he was a terrible person. In a way, Myst 4 is about whether or not the brothers can move past their abuse and abandonment and so on. Which, yeah, if they were thrown on... like, Myst 3 doesn't really paint the best picture either, since they seem to have been thrown away on somewhat dangerous planets to just train independently in a way that seems like it's once again them being alone. Just unfortunate that in this narrative, the brother who is able to change and move past has to die as a result. Looks like an elevator. Oh, the DRC. They make a reappearance. They're old friends at the DRC, much like this thing here. Yeah. And there we have an age. Looks neat. I'm gonna keep poking around though. We still have things to do here.
Oh! How could this be? On their backs, this fallen empire was built. What hypocrisy. Such abuse of power. I think they even deluded themselves into believing their own lies. It pains me to the point of ill. It makes me pleased that they are dead.
That's trippy. Because her face is completely fixed in place and not moving. It's probably the same tech the same recording setup they have for so that they can keep heads completely still so that they can put the face on the 3D model and have it animate without like wandering around constantly. Got a collapsed chamber. Don't think I've been here before in previous games.
I apologize for the goggles earlier, but my eyes are not accustomed to the sun in this age. I have taken this same journey, this same quest, and failed. I'm not proud of my failure, yet I think that what I learned will be useful in your quest. Your journey continues through that door.
Thanks for the help, buddy. Went through the effort to teleport in just to say, yo, try the door. He just wants to flex on me that he's got his cool teleport abilities, obviously. Yeah, this one doesn't. I was making sure I didn't just make a mistake on how I operated that one, considering I think that was the first time I tried to slide it. So that door doesn't open yet. There's something down here.
The stranger, the friend, returned again to help father save mother. Imagine, a stranger traveling to Riven, risking all, asking for nothing. I think of humility, thinking more of others. Humility. Prisoners are freed by nothing more and nothing less. Again, my grandfather, my heritage. Ugh. That monster who thought himself a god was once again imprisoned. Perhaps he still rules that desolate, empty, and dead place, riven by the pride and bitterness of his own heart. But more likely, he is in another desolate, empty, dead place where there is weeping. I hope he is miserable. I cannot forgive him for what he did. It eats at my heart. I hate him because I have his same desires. Mother and father came again together to the refuge, to Myst Island. But it was only a shell, a place to exist, a fallen place torn apart by pride, just as the great Denis city was. Just as I am. Torn. What is a stranger? Someone who is not me? Yet sometimes I feel like a stranger to myself. I become two, one who I know and one who I do not. Where does this other one come from? Which one is me?
She feels torn between two beings. Curious about that. I don't know, Uru did weird things with her character, setting her up as almost like a deity-like figure. I didn't really like the additions that Uru brought to the universe. I'm not against Earth being connected to the Denis. Like the idea of like, oh, and then a human corporation found old Denis ruins and tried to make a theme park out of it or something, and then in the process they're learning about the Denis. I'm mostly fine with that stuff. But the way it interacts with characters like Yisha are very strange. Also, finding out that the cleft is on Earth bothers me. It's a really weird coincidence that like drives me crazy. Cause what was the thing that bothered me about that? What was that? Oh yeah, it was that the place that you... The basis of Uru was that one book that you find, I believe, and the other stuff you see around there in like Arizona or New Mexico or whatever, fell from the rift on Riven at the end of the game. But they find their way into Riven from the Denis city under New Mexico. And so like the idea that like the abyss of all places just points right back to New Mexico again in a loop is just such a weird coincidence. It also harms the effectiveness of this supposed prison if people can apparently just jump in a hole, fly through space, and then land like without any harm to themselves just in the middle of the United States. One of the many elements, though, where like there's so much universe and infiniteness to the Myst universe, seemingly, and yet these same locations keep coming up, coincidentally, in a way that feels weird. Oop. Well, that seems dangerous. May I no. I don't think I can operate it again. Oh.
Regaro, Tigua. The great shaft. It's amazing, is it not? Built by those from beneath, my people. I am Dakhni. It was this shaft that permitted the great-grandmother of Yisha to find our deep city. Rather than bore you with tedious details, you need only know this. She killed us all, and the great Dakhni city lies lifeless and ruined. There is a room at the end of this first elevator. A small room with a Dakhni rest age book for the Dakhni who would have traveled this path. The book will link you to Direbo. I will come to you there.
You say Dakhni and Direbo or something? I could use subtitles. He's using terms that would be easier to understand if we had a little help. So is that just a giant spiral ramp all the way down to the bottom? Yeah, that would take a while. That would take a while. There must be a lever inside the elevator? Yeah. Well, hello. Well, now we're way the hell down here. Oop. Just to reinforce that even if we wanted to, we couldn't make it down this way. Hmm? The sheer length of the walk reminds me a bit of the idea of, like, when Atris and Gen had to walk directly from the cleft all the way down to... Whoop. They had to walk from the cleft all the way down to the Denis city, and it was a huge walk. And one of the few seemingly acts of kindness that Gen ever does is that he had like a checkpoint set up where he gave Atris a change of clothes and a place to rest, and he gave him new boots and everything. But then as they continue to climb, the boots chafe horribly, and he can barely walk. Atris can barely walk. And it just speaks to some of the reoccurring stuff of like how anything Gen does is for like this, is for image and for significance, and usually to boost himself up. So it's like he's forcing Atris to wear these boots to make him feel better about his own son, basically. And so like the son has to play a role, basically, the way that many sons feel the need to perform for their parents. But the boots themselves aren't functional because they're brand new boots on a hike. So you always have to have broken in boots. New boots on a hike are more damaging than helpful. But even the one almost act of kindness he has is actually just more pain.
Tamana, my home, the place where I was, the place where I began. I was a spark of joy to mother and father after their fire was almost quenched. And yet what joy could we have had if my brothers had been there as well? Still torn. Father and mother loved and shared with me their desert bird. Father shared wisdom and knowledge, and mother shared visions and dreams. When did they come to know my destiny? Surely not from birth. As I look back, they knew so much, they saw so clearly. They planted and watered so that I would learn how to do the same. I would not realize it until long after I was to see them no longer. Am I the grower because they taught me? Or did they teach me because I am the grower? Torn. But peace was not yet with us. From the past, an enemy came seeking revenge, but there was help for a third time. Without help, where would we be? Would there be a grower? Would there be a seed to grow? It's all been so fragile. But it must be by the Maker I am here, and there is meaning. Or it may be by the role I am here, and there is no meaning.
Nope, we seem to have skipped one. I don't know, they gave me a big open area to explore. It's hard to be certain of there being an ideal path. What a strange practice being a video game environmental storyteller character who tosses their items about for people to find them. Ah, island number 2. I'm finding my way to different islands. I figured I would explore the hub world first.
Some believe in prophecies that predict the restoration of Denis. The fallen city of Denis would grow. There were attempts before, and there will be attempts again. They always fail. Even those led by my father tried. They learned great things of the Maid and the Maker. They learned of the Barrow, of the least, and of deeper truths. They learned of Father and his wisdom in rebuilding and rewriting. The Denis city came alive again for a time. The dead were properly buried and the living were properly cared for. Denis took short, labored breaths. Sap flowed, though the tree did not grow, for there was no grower. Even Father did not see then as I do now. The grower had not come. I had not come. I am the grower. I failed. And I think of myself as worthy. I am nothing. The failed child of failed parents of failed grandparents. How many generations must fail before we give up? Why do I try? I have failed with the tablet already. There are no second chances here. And yet I long to hold it and try once more.
Oh, there it is. I'm confused a little bit about the, Let's just check this portal out, I suppose. I'm confused about the nature of the Denis city. In particular, how this solitary family of dwindling number somehow can revive a city. I understand the idea of learning and reviving the teachings of the Denis, but how do you populate a city that is extinct with new people? Like, so far there hasn't been any mention of who those people were and where they came from. Are they just the creations of other Myst books, perhaps? Making the Denis inherently not a people?
Direbo. An age for resting. Such a peaceful place. And the way to get to the first age. There. That profane thing and the other pedestals like it are not of Denis. They are a regrettable part of this journey. The pedestal will allow you to link in a manner similar to the book that brought you here, but know this. They are perverted tools of the creatures. The creatures. You've seen them. Always watching. Calling to one another in the darkness. Loathsome. Wraiths. They are not as we are. Remember that. Touch the pedestal. It will bring you to the age of Todelmer. I will find you there.
Curious about your technology, because your technology seems to be breaking all the rules of how a linking book works or any of the other ways of getting around that we know of. He's just at will teleporting from place to place, seemingly. So this will take me back to 2. Can I open all of these? Really? I guess I should have opened the first one then. Because apparently this will let me fast travel through the hub world itself too. But I have to open these doors from the inside at each of the 4 locations. So I have to go back up the elevator. Anyway. But like, come on man, it's a tiny... This is an Ego Raptor cartoon in actuality. Like, hey, I'm getting a little, there's a little wall over here and it's just not giving me the jump over command. Oh, you have to go around and find the key. What? It's not new territory though, we're used to this. There was that time in Riven. Oh god, yeah. There was that time in Riven where the, let's go back up here. That's why there's a lever that calls the elevator, huh? Because you can teleport from floor to floor inside the other place. There was that time in Riven where you had to do an entire roundabout thing just to deal with the fact that, like, a, like, 2-foot long piece of platform was gone. So you had to go downstairs and pull a weird lever that would make that platform go into place, which I don't know why that platform was retractable, and also how, and if it was supposed to be to deny access, I don't know in what universe that would deny access when you could just, like, step over the gap if you're a normal, just totally fine legged human. You'd be like, this is not an obstacle. This is an elaborate machine that ultimately just fails to stop me from doing the thing. It was back here, right? Yeah. The original hallway. I don't feel like decoding numbers right now. I don't know what your deal is. This is interesting. It's like a plaque or something. Blip, 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 blip. Island number 1. I figured I would just finish exploring the area, then check out these things, but then I realized what we're kind of getting into. That turned out to be way more to look around at in the overworld than I expected. I thought I'd run out sooner. But it looks like it's going to keep going for a while. So let's make sure we unlock these. And here's our other islands. Is this going to be my hub? Does each of these go to a different world? Some kind of icy cave. Or maybe just a cave. With the stalagmites and stalactites. Those... looks like a rail system? Yeah, there's a cliff up there. Interesting. There's still something else in the overworld I wanted to take a look at, though. And might as well see how far we're allowed to go before we need to have something from the ages or something. So let's see what this does. I'll probably call the elevator to us. Oh, there it goes. That happened last time too, didn't it? Yeah. Oh, that other thing I'm seeing is probably the counterweight that lets the elevator work, isn't it? Probably. Yeah, that platform falls out over there, so you can't keep going. But I can go deeper. Yep, and then we reach that surface I could see down there. Maybe I should explain, but when I talk about... Hello, there's a visual.